Not as bad as the UK though. So I'm gathered that you all stayed in your little circle and
being good little boys in the
Is this something? Everybody knows.
What do you want to be, the turkey or the mistletoe?
I don't want people kiss under me.
Well, you're a bit spiky.
I'm about 5 foot. We've got push. So yeah, I hope you all have somewhat enjoyed Christmas, I guess. Like most of the time it's fucking shit.
Yeah, well, all you gotta do is make the best of it, as I say. As much as you can. Or if you're not into Christmas, then yeah, just eat dinner, get pissed, go to bed.
That's what mostly everyone's done during lockdown. During lockdown we just eat, drink,
and go
go to bed.
Go to bed, get married. It's very nice. It's very nice.
Weren't we meant to have like I swear we were meant to have like a little day off? Like other parts of the UK have got like a day off.
I'm working all the way through it pretty much.
No, but I mean like they were meant to have like you know, like we were meant to have like one day where we could go see our families, and instead we just
they cancelled that because we're now in another tier which they've just invented.
So we literally have just got to stay where we are.
Yeah.
I know, like loads of people.
Like the people that are in support bubbles can still go and see each other. Technically, me and you.
Right. Are we in a support bubble? Are you supporting me? Are you my carer?
We're both supporting our YouTube channel.
Is this what you'd say to the police officer that goes, why were you around there? I'm supporting my YouTube channel.
Yeah. I've got to earn a living, even though I'm not paid, but that ain't the point. I'm doing this pro bono.
And we've got a special treat for you later.
We have indeed. We're going to throw those in there somewhere throughout the
So we have
throughout the podcast.
we have buffalo worms, mealworms, crickets,
and the big boys.
and the locusts. We'll put that back. I mean, I'm sure like mostly everyone's managed to get around the Christmas season and festivities of it all, and they somehow managed
to
sneak away.
Yeah.
Without good old Boris, the Grinch that stole Kent's Christmas.
Yep.
I'm sure that'll be flagged.
Well, if it is, I'll repeat it later on.
Okay, yeah, you can repeat it later on. So we're kind of bringing a bit of joy to you guys, I guess.
Well, we're trying to.
Yeah. We're trying to get things moving in a more hungriest. Like I haven't eaten today, and these.
I haven't eaten either. They smell.
God. It does smell like cereal.
They smell like breakfast cereal with a hint of barbecue. It's very weird. It's like a barbecue smoked breakfast cereal.
I'm not sure whether they'd stay down, but we'll find out.
We will find out.
So, yet again, thanks for joining us on Christmas Day. If it goes up Christmas Day, if you've got nothing fucking better to do.
All going well. It'll go up Christmas Day.
I'm gonna pour myself another drink.
Get festive.
A little bit, just a tad. Do you reckon that's enough? I'll go for a bit more. A bit more. There we go.
But no, our topic today is we're going to be talking about
we're going to be hitting a bit of folklore.
Yeah, folklore, myths, legends.
Yep.
We're not going into all of them because we'll be here for a millennia.
But we will, once Tier 4 is over and done with, we will venture off to a couple of places. I think
we've
that's
got a couple
what
of places in mind that we want to go and visit and talk a bit more about.
I think
more in depth.
Pluckley, most haunted village in Kent. We'll venture off there.
We'll go up to Stonehenge, A lot of people that go there, they do get that tingling sensation that there's something.
You're not allowed to touch the rocks though.
No, it's just the atmosphere.
Mm.
Like a lot of people like.
It tastes like syrup.
The amount that you put in probably would taste like syrup.
Starting to congest.
Have a fucking happy hour.
We'll wait.
Snack.
Little snack, look at it. If it gets a little bit loud, then goes a bit quiet.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I've got a few
folklore myths.
Wow, it's more of a legend, I suppose.
Yeah, but do a lot of people know it?
Well, if you're sad enough, like myself, to
Do you dare say you watched it in a documentary? I swear over.
No. This one actually, because I was more interested. I've watched films and stuff with like the.
That's fire, is it? That's fire. That is fire. The amount I put in, mate, that is fire. That'll take your taste buds away from them.
Just need a bit of chilli sauce there.
No chilli sauce. Put a cricket in it. Spice it up a bit. Oh, I've not been microphone again. So you've got obviously this story that I actually don't know anything about. Like, I don't know anything about this whatsoever. And you were trying to explain to me, and you were like, save it for the podcast. So I was like, okay, save it for the podcast.
So obviously you've watched films with like Knights of the Round Table and the chivalry.
I do like that era. I do like that period. Yes, I have watched films of knights and
like the Crusades and everything else. Yeah.
They also involve dragons. Does this have a dragon?
This one doesn't have a dragon. This is more about following the knight's tail rather than the dragon's tail.
Okay. If you chase the dragon's tail, you're in trouble. It'll burn your taters off.
It burns, I don't know. So yeah, this one is the Legend of the Black Knight.
Okay.
So this goes back like probably the 1400s.
Okay.
It's when they started getting the higher end of the more extravagant knight, the one with more money.
Okay. So the richer knights.
Yeah.
Like one of the ones that got called in and just fight, protect our castles.
Yeah.
Right.
He was basically known as a mercenary back in the day. If you were a mercenary, you would be a black knight.
Okay.
But there was a.
You couldn't resist that, could you?
So yeah, as I was saying, so he was the mercenary of his age.
Yeah.
And there was one particular legend that really, it piqued my interest, and it was the legend of Hathor.
Okay.
Or Arthur.
Is it spelt like in really weird English?
It's A-R-T-H-O-R.
Okay.
So it's like a Thor.
Yeah.
And there's been a sneaky suspicion that this is like revolved around like the Herculeans, like Thor and Hathor and the Greek gods and stuff like that. But yeah, so his you can resist it. It's catchy.
It's getting my tits now though.
So he basically he was more like good or evil.
Okay.
So he was more good than evil.
But he had an evil streak.
But he had the evil streak.
Someone I can relate to. Nicely.
And there's the legend of the Black Knight is that they were all evil because they were mercenaries, because they worked for kings and queens that controlled their people in a brutish manner.
Okay.
And so there was one tale that I quite, as I said, piqued my interest.
Yeah.
And it was he got into a town and they were like, oh, the Black Knight, could you help me with our king? Like,
I'll tell you what this feels like. This feels like I'm having a proper little Christmas story. You know, you could just do that.
wow.
Go on, tell me about it. Feels like I'm having a proper little Christmas story. This shouldn't be a podcast. This should be Will's Tales.
I will strike you down, Levi. No, and yeah, so he accepted the village's thing, like plea, I suppose.
A plea for help.
Yeah. He didn't get paid for it.
Okay.
Which you wouldn't think as a mercenary you would.
You'd take money.
Yeah,
you take the bounty. You're going to kill something, you take the money first. Hitman.
Yeah.
Modern day hitman.
Modern day hitman.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so he went to this king and was just like, I'm a Black Knight.
Yeah.
I'm here to for a service. Have you got anything for me to do? And this king was like, oh yes, the villagers are becoming unruly.
Okay.
So go and kill the head of each village for me.
That's pretty big.
Here's the gold.
That is a big bounty.
Yeah. Here's the gold. And he basically said, okay, I shall start that tomorrow, and we'll, I'll leave first light and do it for you. Well, he then left first light after killing the king.
Okay.
And then he took the gold and whatever he got paid, and he spread it out between the villages, and then he just moved on.
Okay.
And it was...
That sounds like a pretty heartless thing to do, doesn't it? You're given money to do something, and he's like, no, I'm going to fuck you up first.
Yeah, and then I'm going to just give all the money away and move on
It's
to
like
the
a
next.
modern era Robin Hood.
Pretty much, like, it's the medieval Robin Hood, basically, like, before the thing.
Before Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, it really piqued my interest, because I'm really into, like, the chivalry side of stuff, anyway. And I used to like cut like the little like polythene bits, like foam and stuff, and create my own armour. That was quite fun.
You used to create armour. I can imagine a little William running around with a little sword.
No, I didn't have a sword.
Would you have a stick?
Kept flopping.
Something that most men are used to when they reach the 30 peak.
Right in their prime. I do not know what you're on.
You have it in your hand and it flops. This is going downhill already. I can see it's going to happen.
But no, like I used to go to a lot of castles when I was younger.
Didn't we all? We all got dragged on school trips.
Yeah.
Like,
oh no, this wasn't even a school trip.
Oh, this was family.
This was in the summer holidays. Like, we used to take a friend who he doesn't live there now, but he used to live just up the road from here.
Yeah.
And we used to go to castles. We used to go to.
I used to get dragged along
the
to
medieval fairs I've been to. They were quite fun.
I used to get dragged along to all them fucking castles. Like every time in primary school, it was like, off you go to a castle. It was like, oh yay, trip. You get there and you're like, can't touch nothing. What's the point of going?
You go to the little shop.
Yeah.
You get a rubber and a pencil and go home, and you're like, yeah, I had a really good day.
I remember my grandmother was like, get something this time which actually makes sense of where you've been. I got a bookmark and I lost it in the book.
Couldn't even find a book anymore.
I literally lost it. That's why I don't use bookmarks.
I can remember we went to Leeds Castle, and it was the medieval fair.
Yeah.
And
so what, England is rich in fucking castles, though.
Oh yes. Oh well. It's only because of the Normandy landings when the Norman kings come over.
Yeah, but still, our town has a castle. We could travel 12 miles and see another one. It's like we could travel another 12 miles and see another one. Like, no one lives in them. They open them up to the public. It's like, why don't you put them on the market? Let some big time investors, and we can go do our recordings in a fucking castle.
Oh yeah.
Do it in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Pretty good, wouldn't it?
King Keeper. Yeah.
We're doing it in the dungeon. Yeah, straight up my alley. Get in the dungeon. Let me stretch you out a little bit. This is going downhill again.
Rein it in, Rudolph.
Getting too excited. It's deer season. It's reindeer season. I'm too excited. I'm horny, look. Right, carry on.
As I was saying.
Back to William's tales.
Yeah, we went to Leeds Castle.
Yeah.
And as I said, it was a medieval fair it was on, and we watched like, the archers. We watched a few of the knights do the. Yeah.
Where they both have a spear and knock each other off horse.
Yeah.
Horse.
Horse.
Knock each other off on horse, mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting it now, aren't I? I'm in the swing now. Check me out. Hope you had a good Christmas. We're about to fuck it up. No! No! Turn her off! I'm not having it! Where's my Christmas at? Turn her off! Fuck the Christmas song! Plug me mic in! No! 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 No Mariah Carey, no Michael fucking shitty bubble today, thank you.
I made sure he wasn't in it.
Yeah, I just didn't check her. Fucking dopey bitch.
You threw your hat.
No! Knocked everything about. My mic fell out. I stood up in anger. You're lucky I didn't.
Did you squash your chestnuts?
I think I pointed as well, that makes it worse. Is me hat right? Are we back? Good.
Yeah, we're back.
I prefer Frosty the
obviously,
Snowman.
so do we all. But you used to get the rubber little things on and and stick to the wall.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But when you're a little shit,
Yeah.
like I was, you take the little rubber thing off.
Yeah.
Put a bit of cardboard or something.
Yeah.
And if you got enough drawback on it, I think it just.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
And you're like,
I feel like the Christmas hats.
and it kind of leveled up from there, kind of thing. And then obviously by the time I was probably about 8, 9,
Yeah.
it would be me going down the woods and.
See, I used to make, so like the plastic pipes, like the canes, but they're plastic pipes instead.
Yeah.
Right? So I think most of the time, if you ever, when you were younger, you had I think my nan bought a greenhouse thing which used plastic pipes, right?
Mm.
So me and my father, we snapped them up and we cut little holes in the top of each pipe, or little slits.
Yeah.
And then we threaded it through and made our own bow and arrows. That's all I'm going to say on that matter.
What did you break?
Well, what I broke, I was making all these arrows really sharp. I went over to the woods and I was like, pew, 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 and I shot one of the, I think the guy over there used to have a sheep called Cardigan.
Oh dear.
It didn't stick in the sheep, but it hit it.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Did the sheep run?
The sheep seemed pretty confused, like I did, because I think it ricocheted off of something and hit the sheep, and I went, where's it gone? And I looked at the sheep, and the sheep was like, what the fuck was that? So I was like,
sorry dude.
Oh, yeah, I won't be shooting these anymore, but they were we were literally just sharpening up pieces of plastic and just shooting them like proper arrows. Saying that, I think at the time I spray painted my hair green, and I was running around in the woods of what me and my friends would call camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's bad, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. I got really good at popping off pigeons, so that was quite good though.
Well, we used to be pugging.
Well, obviously 'cause we live in Waterbury, which is literally there's loads of fields everywhere, and the farmer obviously, if he's got a rat thing, he used to get the birds of prey and stuff, and he used to
let them go
walk up and down.
nuts,
But obviously he can't do that all season because that gets expensive.
Yeah.
So if you've got literally a BB gun or an airsoft gun or something quite
straight
high
over
powerful,
to
it was literally the farmer would be like, yeah, sure, go ahead,
and just shoot off the
yeah,
rats.
you just shoot off the rats that would, because he used to have cooking apples and stuff orchards, and it was saves me a job. And it's just everyone was BB guns and proper professional airsoft people were going there and
was it mainly river
rats
rats
and stuff. Oh yeah.
Mainly river rats coming out of the rivers and stuff, and then go straight into the fields.
Yeah.
He used to suffer with that a lot.
We literally like everyone was running around with like the actual guns and stuff.
Yeah. Were you quite good at it?
It got to the point where I was just like, hey,
you're going to take up archery.
I was like, I'm pretty good at this. Well, no, because I knew it existed, but I didn't know how I would.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't have the money to go out and buy the expensive bows and stuff. So.
Well, you don't need to. Like I said, you can just make one, and it's strong enough. I mean, I think one of the strings that we were using was like somewhat semi-elasticated, but you could still properly get a good drawback on it. Powerful enough as well.
We used to, I don't know how I got it, but there was a surgical
thing
where they tie it round and tie it.
Yeah, like the plastic tubing, which is quite elasticated. I'm sure some of our viewers will probably know what that's called.
Yeah.
I don't.
I know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got, I don't know why, but we had like little thin bits of it.
Yeah.
So like you'd have to replace it like once or twice a month, but if you've got plenty of it, you know, like you can make
May as well fucking use it. You can make a good slingshot out of that as well. Yeah.
And then I kind of like evolved from that, and it, you know, I got my hands on a bit of bungee cord that a mate was throwing away.
Yeah.
And
you were just like,
I was like, don't
bungee
need to replace this so often. Like,
no, you wouldn't. Not
but it would go like twice the distance, and I'm like, okay.
So I used to do this thing called pugging, not pegging, pugging. Pugging. Pugging is where you get. So you get
dogs.
Yeah, you get a dog of a pug and launch it. No, it's like you get a stick, get some mud, like proper sloppy like mud, put it on the end of the stick, hold it there, and just launch it. It would go like you'd hit everything. But the amount of neighbours' houses that used to be covered in fucking mud, it was like. And we just used to get clay mud, like proper squidgy mud, and just literally launch it at everyone. It used to just go flying. It was pretty bad. And then we used to make like proper, like kind of like a slingshotty type thing.
Yeah.
But we used to put like these bigger clips in it. You know, like wall tacks.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, we used to shoot wall tacks, and they used to stick in your skin as well. Yeah. And thumb tacks, like boom, 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 boom. It was bad. But then, like when my father was younger, he actually got shot in the neck by an arrow from the neighbour.
Yeah.
So the neighbour was like, I bet I can get you, and my father was like, you won't get me, and he literally just pinged it, went straight into the neck, and he just popped it out.
Whether you're in the snows of New England or up in the northwest, or on the warm.
Fuck off! Our Christmas is shit!
He did say northwest.
As long as everyone else, as long as everyone else is having shit the same as us, I don't give a fuck. Oh no, wait, they're not. They're really not.
But no, like, as I said,
go back to your story about a Black Knight, sir. Did he kill more people?
Well, no, that's the thing. Like,
did he just kill this king and then just vanish?
Well, and then like he'll pop up like 20 years later or something, doing the same thing but somewhere else in the country.
Oh, okay.
And then so the whole myth about it is purely for the fact of that when this knight finally did, you know, meet someone that he couldn't quite match.
Yeah. Okay. So he met his match.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they both killed each other.
Okay.
And they were standing there, and they were both visited by three phantom-ish kind of.
Bit like Scrooge.
A bit like Scrooge.
Oh, keeping it with the Christmas theme.
Oh yes.
Gotta pop into it.
Mixed nuts.
Mixed nuts. Could you do a handful though? Like honestly, if you guys could see these, like, I'll try and get them a little bit closer. I don't know if that's even getting anything. I'm completely confused. They might have saw a cricket at least.
Yeah. You got a worm out, you know. Oh no, much more.
Lucky dip.
But no, like they were both visited by three phantoms.
Yeah.
The first one popped up from the ground.
Yeah.
And was just like, for all of your bad deeds, your soul belongs to the devil.
Okay.
Or the underground.
My soul's going to the devil, mate. I ain't living. I don't think I've even got a soul anymore.
Not for the place that we used to work for.
I've got 2 souls in my shoes. That's about as far as it gets.
And so the second phantom came down from the heavens.
It's got worse.
And said, because of all your good deeds, your soul belongs upstairs with us.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose that's a bit of a...
Yeah.
I suppose that's a bit of a nice gesture.
And then
I'm gonna need some more, mate. It's fucking me.
It's a bit strong, isn't it?
Mate, it's tasting like just syrup. I love like cinnamon balls and stuff, but this is like syrup. It's thick and it's lumpy and oh, me lights are falling.
So then the third phantom approached as a dark figure in a black hood.
Much better.
Basically like the Grim Reaper stories.
Okay.
So in a very long dark cloak with a hood over, you can't see their face.
Yeah.
With no arms and no legs.
He had no arms.
No arms, no legs.
He was a nugget.
Yes.
A Grim Reaper nugget.
Chicken nugget.
A Grim Reaper nugget.
Yeah. But when he opened his cloak, all you could see was black smoke.
Oh.
And he said that I am not of earth, not of heaven, and not of hell.
Okay.
I'm that guy in between.
Okay.
Because you have done both good, equal good and equal bad, you have the
So every
choice.
time he did something bad, he made up with it with something good.
Yeah, like
So
I
basically,
must punish myself.
It's like
I'll
the
do something
Egyptians
good.
with a feather and a heart and...
Yeah, it's
Okay.
equal balance.
Okay. I like this story.
And then that goes to a bloke. No, a bloke. The third phantom.
Yeah. Oh!
Who's
Oh!
I've got a dry throat, mate.
You will have after all these. That's your Christmas dinner. Everyone else gets fucking turkey, mate. You get them.
I get delicious.
You could have a dip with these, couldn't you? Should we get the hot sauce out? And just not too bad. Could be a million times worse.
True.
Oh, God. Yeah.
They could be wriggling.
We could do live ones.
Nah, I'm good. Actually, I wasn't. I was England, but anyway.
There weren't no places, Bethany. Go on.
So yeah, like so this third phantom said, look, because you've done equal good and equal bad, you get the choice. You can die now and just be gone.
Okay.
Or you can stay living.
Okay.
And if you stay living, basically like eternal life, then whenever you're ready, come back to me. And
Did he ever go back to him?
yes, apparently.
Did he die?
It's one of those things that he went back, but you don't know what he said. So he basically said, I'll come back in 20 years, or 2,000 years or whatever, and ask you this question again. Do you want to stay living, or do you want to die and be gone?
Okay.
So he came back, but no one knows the answer.
Well, obviously he died then. He chose to
Or
end
did
it.
he? Because we're still getting the myths and legends of the Black Knight now. Or something along those lines.
Yeah, something
the Black
that-
Knight.
So what do you think?
Well, back then I always thought, like, when I first think, I was like, oh wow. Like, I didn't really understand.
But you
what
have
it
to
was
think
about.
that, like...
But obviously now, I feel that, you know, there's been stranger things.
Yeah. But then you got to think, back then, like, you could be done for sorcery just for, like, mixing some berries with everything else. That doesn't mean you're a witch.
No.
That doesn't mean you're anything special.
No.
Like, it
You
just
know,
means
like
that...
herbalists years ago used to like pick like the dandelion leaves and
They used
grass
to just
and
mix
whatever.
every type of foliage and just try and combine something that would work.
Like some plants, which you would think, what are you eating that for? Like some flowers.
You're talking about eating plants. I think I'd rather eat plants than...
I'd rather eat it.
That black one here has got your name on it.
No, it ain't.
Where is it?
It's gone.
It's the
I
big
chucked
one.
it in the bin.
This fucker. I'll have the bendy one. You'll have this nice upright one. We'll keep him upright so we know what one he is. He ain't staying upright. We've got a problem. We'll keep him at the corner. There we go. Look at that. Look. Right on the side. Look. You can do it.
So yeah, like so that I actually think it. I want to believe.
I think a lot of people want to believe in something when they ain't seen it themselves.
Yeah, I want to believe, but I don't think it is.
No.
Like myself personally, I don't think it is.
I mean, the thing is
I want to believe.
The thing is with folklore and mythology and stuff like that, it's literally like someone saw something, and then it's like Chinese whispers. It's gone back down, and then it all changes.
Yeah.
But then, like, my theory on it all is like it's got to come from somewhere. Like, I'd love to speak to the person that knew bits and pieces was the first one.
Yeah.
Because then, obviously, then you know, like, oh, okay, well, this person saw like a big monster in a lake, and then they're like, okay, you saw it. Okay, now we know where it come from, and then you get like time travel forward, and then like you'd hear more and more stories. Yeah, you can put
piece bits and pieces.
It's literally like mythology Chinese whispers, but it's what keeps a lot of
what mysticism is.
But it's like, dare I say, it's like what keeps many towns and its culture alive. It's like you can have like so much go on in one town. Like I think like our castle's in the Doomsday Book, and that's quite like, oh okay. And I think Hadlow Tower's also in the Doomsday Book.
Yeah.
And I think like some other things are in the Doomsday Book as well, which we're quite close to. But still,
great.
but still, it's kind of like one of them things where it's like, okay, so the story originates somewhere, but maybe not to the extent that everyone around the world now knows it.
Yeah.
But then it kind of always baffles me because like mermaids baffle me because like, you know, should we say sailors saw them, but then there's no carry-on story, and if there is, it all seems a bit like way out there that the person's either done
it's
drugs.
all a bit Disney.
Yeah, they've either done drugs or they're just fucking smacked off their head on everything they can get.
Well, saying that, like sailors used to, obviously they used to have the malt and the grog and God knows else what. Through their travels, they would be on that.
I mean, funny, like,
so
say like these sailors were out in like the ocean, right? Obviously, I don't know where else they'd be. On the moon, perhaps. But say they're out and they're all drinking, they're all having a good time because, like, you know, it's free roam, it's freedom, right? And like, you know, one of them could look over and be like, oh, there's a woman in the sea, like all drunk and stuff, and she's in the sea, and then like she goes, like, dies or whatever. But then loads of people could see the same thing, be drunk and be like, she's got flippers. Like, she's got a fin. Like, it could
she's swimming,
it could all progress.
Yeah.
And this is what, like I said, this is what often keeps, like, towns, cities, other countries, like, alive. Because of this history that it packs.
As you said, it's involved within their culture.
Yeah. It literally
like,
just carries on going and going and going. And by the end of it, you're like, well, what do I believe? Like, where do you even think, like, oh, okay, that must have happened? Like, you know, like the witches, like, I've got quite, like, not necessarily a connection, but I fully believe that some people, years and years ago, had some sort of special ability, whether they could heal someone with herbs and, like, spices and everything else, and then they were hunted down and burned, and what is it, like, one of the rule of a witch, like, we'll tie, like, fucking stones to her, and if she floats, she's a witch. That's just weight distribution. That's not fucking like, that's not a guaranteed answer. You can give some witch.
Well, no, it's like the thing if they say that, like, if they throw you in with a weight on the thing. Yeah. But if that weight comes off and then you just float to the surface.
You're a witch. You're fucking dead. Like, they'll burn you.
Yeah. It's literally a pure thing to get just people, like,
it's, dare I say, it's probably what we're kind of living in now. It's to put people in categories, and it has continued going for years and years. I mean, like nowadays, it's like race, where you're from, what your background is, how wealthy you are. You're all put into different categories.
Religion, someone like
Whereas like back then, obviously they didn't have much religion. If it was only a set course of religion that you had to follow. And yet, just because you're a bit different, that means you get fucking killed. What was the point? just because you're a bit different. Little did they know, centuries later, everyone's a fucking bit different. Everyone's a bit off their head.
And that's apparently what we now pride ourselves on.
Yeah.
Because everyone's a bit different.
Yeah. It's glad everyone's different. Alright, bring the witches back then, hurry up.
Yeah, hurry up.
I want to see if they did live in like these little gingerbread houses and curdle up spells and... Go on, bring them out.
I want to see one do their housework. Because I so want that.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? You go around someone's house, oh, I haven't tidied up, click, boom, wow. Can you come round and do that? Like, if you were alive in today's era, you'd make a killing of cleaning houses.
Literally.
Literally, like, what is it, what,
So
£10 an hour to clean a house? Literally go and click,
you'd
done.
have to be like...
You'd have to wait the hour. You'd have to sit there for 6 hours and go, yeah, go on then, and then click your fingers and done.
There we go. You always miss something.
Yeah, the dog's left outside, you know, whatever. 12 hours. Poor dog.
Poor little doggy.
My little gremlin. She was out there all night, I'm scared. I felt so bad. I felt so bad. I was just like, oh, my poor little dog.
So it went back to myths and legends. I don't know where we went from there, but...
The gremlin. She's a gremlin. But no, like I said, every town's...
Let me ask you a question. You mentioned dragons.
Okay.
Okay. Do you believe they existed?
Yes.
Okay. I
Because,
also do believe that they existed.
What
but
you
what
believe-
is your reason?
okay, so I believe
What's your
dragons
reasoning?
possibly existed. Much like the dinosaurs. Now, there is a cave, I can't remember what country it's in.
It's probably Romania. That's where they're... Yep, doing it.
What the fuck? I've knocked my fairy lights off with me dangler.
Oh, my love, my darling.
It did sound a bit... Oh, fuck you, you piece of shit.
Stop playing with your fucking fairy lights.
Fell off. I think I knocked it off with me dangler.
Get a bit sanitized.
But, right, okay, so, yeah, there's this country, and there's a cave.
It's probably Romania, because a lot of
I don't think it is.
comes from...
I don't think it is, but there's a cave where these little creatures live, and they collected them, and they're like miniature dragons, and they have tiny little wings, and I swear they were called something, mate. I saw it on a documentary. I swear. No, I did. No, I did. And these little
Not
creatures.
on a documentary.
But yeah, they had these little.
Just get mine.
They were like basically like little lizards, but they had like little tiny wings, and there's millions of them all in this cave, and they can't specifically say what category this lizard would be.
Yeah, whether it be.
And
like
to
a
me,
lizard
like I'm
or-
thinking like, well, if dolphins are born with like little legs, like little flippers, and that can make them a land animal, what's to say these things weren't bigger many centuries ago? In a term of evolution and animals getting extinct due to the planet changing.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, that's
the
what...
big recycle,
Yeah,
basically.
like, obviously, like, I guess it's like the strongest survive, right? I'm not being funny, like,
Well,
dragons
it's
wouldn't
more
survive
adapted,
much.
really.
Yeah, dragons wouldn't survive much, but there
They'd
is
be
a...
in zoos. They would be in zoos.
No, because they'd burn away, like, if they could actually breathe fire. Like, that dragon came from somewhere, like I said, mythology and all that, it all originates from somewhere. Like, the animals we see today aren't the animals here.
Oh no.
So to me, it's like, there is a video on YouTube of this thing flying over the sky and it vanishes through the clouds and then comes back out again. But it's a bit like a phoenix. And it was spread worldwide. And I'm just like, if people saw a fucking phoenix, like, anything's possible. But it did look like a big gold red bird flying, but it was massive. And it wasn't a plane.
Virgin Enterprises.
Only under 16s fly with Virgin Enterprises. But no, it was like...
They only fly for free.
But no, it literally
Fly for
flew...
free. Fly for free.
You'll get it in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it like went through the clouds and everything else and it literally came out the other end. And I was just like those people, they could hear it and they wondered what it was. It's much like, I guess it goes along the lines of like the alien videos that people often post on YouTube.
Yeah.
But there were so many people that saw this creature fly, and I think it was actually in England, and I'm just like, holy shit. Like, to me, I'd rather keep my options
Well, that's
open.
now extinct.
Yeah. But to me, I'd rather keep my options open and be like, okay, well, I believe that aliens do exist to an extent. I believe ghosts could possibly roam the earth to an extent. But whether I actually believe it, until, like I said, until it sits in front of me, like if a phoenix sits here and goes, oh, hi, I'll be like, you alright? What's up? Do you grant wishes? If you do, I need about 2.
Or do you heal with your tears? Or just stab them in the neck with a knife?
Yeah, exactly. But no, like, yeah, I guess dragons in my head, like,
I would say...
you have Komodo dragons,
Yeah.
and they've evolved from something.
Mm.
And they live for fucking years.
They
Just
do
like
live
turtles.
And they've got their own island. So we don't know what's on that island because it's not fully explored.
It reminds me of this
the
Indian,
island of Komodo.
this Indian woman went worldwide news because she was asleep. I can't remember if I've ever told you this outside of a podcast, but she was asleep, and I think she actually lived in like I wouldn't necessarily a poor country, but a very, dare I say,
third world
bleak country.
Okay.
And she was asleep and she heard something in her room, right? And I was just like, as I was reading through and everything else, I was like, the fuck, like, what would you hear in your room? Mate, it was a snake with like a claw-like hand coming out of its stomach, and it was crawling up the side of her fucking wall. She eventually killed it because she didn't know what the fuck it was, but the pictures afterwards were really like, oh.
Well, we don't
Snakes are evolving, they're getting little belly button claws. Be like something out of Alien. And it just sucks into your mouth. But no, it was crawling up, and it had like this weird deformed body, and it had a claw coming out, and it was using it to crawl up the fucking wall. How advanced is that fucking snake to realise I can move my claw, I can go up walls? Like, how many days before he got to that Indian woman's house did he think, I'm going to use this to crawl up a wall? That's what I mean, like, creatures are weird. And if you're thinking about, like, not necessarily creatures, but animals are weird. Some of them probably have, like, this really cool supernatural ability to turn invisible. We just don't know it yet.
It wouldn't surprise me. Like, because there's a dormant gene to say that we can hibernate. And there's some weeks that I do feel that I can hibernate.
No, but
definitely have
technically
to recordings.
For the human body to, dare I say, like, you would obviously feast, like animals do, and then go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I wouldn't necessarily say I could sleep for a long period of time, but I could probably reach about 18 hours, easy. If uninterrupted. Like, I could probably be like, oh, okay, 18 hours sleep. But, like, I read somewhere the human body can, like, literally survive off of, like, sunlight and water. And because our body collects it, much like, you know, if we were to go out in the rain, it can absorb the water. I'm pretty sure we could if we hibernated outside. Then again, you're in England, you don't get no fucking sunlight to get any, like, benefit from it.
No.
You'll probably just get cancer moles or some shit. No, mine, I couldn't, I probably would.
You'll just get moles.
I've got a mole problem. Where is it? On me back. Not in my garden, on me back. But yeah, you see what I mean? Like, you could possibly hibernate. I mean, it is physically possible.
So, you've basically touched on...
So much.
No, you basically touched on or the reasons why I believe that they could be, or they could have existed.
I think, like I said...
Because, like, if we believe that dinosaurs, but dare I say dinosaurs...
Some form of animal with claws.
Yes. Like, existed. What's to say that they're not dinosaurs, but they're just the remains of the dragons?
Both reptile.
They are indeed.
In some retrospects, I think. Like, most are reptiles.
Or it could be that the dragon of the time was somehow, obviously it wouldn't be like that they saw a dinosaur.
Yeah.
But it could be like digging up all of these dino bones or
Dino bones. Dino bones.
All of these large.
Imagine going to supermarkets and going to have a couple of dino bones.
Yeah,
called
my dog's hungry.
Yeah, it's called me dog. I want some dino bones.
From your handbag, dog.
I want to get the dog again.
But yeah, what's to say like the legend of those?
It
were
originates.
Just to be like,
It originates
what's all
somewhere.
of these big bones that we're digging out?
It's much like the human mind. You don't. What's the word? Like when you dream.
We're too curious.
Yeah, and when you dream, it's something that you do know of, but not necessarily all of it. It's something
In the
that
right
stays
order.
in your mind. Yeah.
It's
So
stuff that we know,
we've
and
witnessed,
lived and
we've seen.
witnessed, but not necessarily in
Like
the
I'm
order
sure,
that
like many children years ago would watch Jurassic Park and have a nightmare of a dinosaur, and that was their first time of seeing a dinosaur.
I didn't. I quite thoroughly enjoyed it, and
Yeah, but
that's why I've turned into a little bit of a dino nerd. But
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is you have to see something
oh yeah,
for it to.
oh I had some weird, wicked dreams after that. Like, but it was more of along the same aspects of the Jurassic Park
Yeah.
theory.
So do you think like the witches were just people that could heal, and do you think it went
it's
from
a
one
lot-
extreme to the other?
Well,
Do you
yeah,
think that?
we've got records and we've got like books of botany and
I went
stuff
to a
like
place
that.
in Norfolk actually where a witch was actually hung, and I was just like, very cobbled, old-fashioned town as well, and I was just like,
Cobbled streets.
I was like, I'll probably get
little-
hung if I hang around here long enough.
Little
Like,
flat cottages.
yeah,
It's
it was,
like Edinburgh, really.
but it was like, just going there was kind of like, oh, okay, this is a bit weird. Not weird in itself, but it's weird to know how history has progressed. Like nowadays, if you're like some type of miracle healer, like you'd go down in history, whereas back then you'd be burned.
You'll literally be gone from history.
Yeah, it's like you'd be eradicated. That's it, no more. You're out. But then like.
But wouldn't you think that that was because they were doing something a bit more advanced for their age and people didn't understand it? Or was there that
Most
thing
people,
of if you're unsure of something that you're scared of it?
The thing is, most people nowadays, if you're not cut from the same cloth, you're weird. And most towns and villages, and like possibly like before it turned into major cities, they all had like a certain ruling. So if you didn't go to church on a Sunday, like you're an outcast kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if you did something that was a little bit odd, but not odd, but it's not something that, like, you know, they would.
That specific village, sure.
Yeah, like it's the same as like when people got locked up in asylums and stuff. Like nowadays, everyone would be fucking locked up. Whereas back then it was like, oh no, you're fucking weird, you're going in.
Yeah.
So I think like it's not because they were advanced, it's just because they were different. Like no one thinks the same.
Oh no.
And therefore, like, if, I don't know, like, maybe they came from, like, people that actually knew how to, like, heal people and possibly curse people. Like, you know, if I went back in time, I'd happily shout at everyone and be like, I curse you, curse you, curse you, curse you, curse you, and see what happens. But then to have that power of actually being cursed, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Don't hang me, don't burn me. I didn't know I could do it. Like, I just went along with it. I'm a time traveller. But it's like a...
What's that? Oh, God.
But I think that many people didn't understand.
Yeah.
And to understand someone or something, you literally have to, like, either just let it slide if you can't understand them.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's like, oh, Audrey's out there ripping up dandelions, she's probably going to hear her dog, let it slide, let it slide, let it slide, and just leave them alone. But back then they wouldn't. They would literally just fucking butcher them and that was it. So, people, like, whether they were advanced or not, I think that either way you're going to be, like, scrutinised and literally thrown to, like, the wolves if you just...
Very misunderstood.
Yeah, if you did anything wrong that seemed unordinary.
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously, looking back now, we can say, oh yeah, but they probably were healers, apothecaries, and so on and so forth. But then, back then, it was like, oh my god, why is she using that? Why is she doing this?
Straight away, people want to kill what they don't understand.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like, I suppose even in some places today, it's like, Like whether you could be gay or you know you could just look different. You were literally an outcast.
You were
straight
judged
from the
get-go.
yeah. As soon as dare I say you come out and go hi I'm gay, it's like fuck your name, stay away from me kind of thing. Like you were literally just shoved into a little box.
Yeah.
And the only box you've got is the box that they've put you in, and then maybe someone might join your box and you become friends.
Building up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Building up defences and armaments, basically.
Yeah. It's literally like, oh, okay, well, say like you don't understand me, I'm thrown in a box. But the person in this box fully understands where I'm coming from, so we're going to be a team.
Exactly.
But it kind of goes a lot like I said, like how people have progressed. Like even, like I said it earlier, even today you were categorised into something. Whether you like it or not, you're either like, you know, you're either one or the other. And the thing is, I often find that most people today, like, the wealthier you are, the more stuck up you are.
I have found that, to be fair, like, the more, dare I say, silver spooned you were as a child, kind of, you know, you take too much for granted.
And the thing is, like, people that are silver spoon don't understand that if they don't have people outside of their family, they're fucked. Like, okay, yeah, you might have money, but you're not going to be able to live on your own because you know fuck all about the outside world. And when you are then hit with reality, you're like fucked. Whereas the people that, dare I say, have like been in reality, know what it's like to have nothing or...
They've come up from nothing, basically.
Yeah, like they're the type of people that you would generally idolise. Or people that you would be like, oh, okay, well, he understands.
Yeah. It's like, to be fair, like, you know, I call myself privileged, but not to the silver spoon state. Like I've been able to learn and understand much of what my parents and my grandparents have had to go through. But then, at a very young age, I kind of understood that you know you have to go to work, you have to earn a limit. You have to provide for the family. Or
it's not necessarily like. See, rich people go to work, but whether they were handed that job to go to work is a different matter.
That's.
And quite frankly, like I've always said, like I don't give a fuck. Like I personally don't give a fuck when anyone thinks about me or what I say.
No.
And I never have to because I'm not going to go up to them people and be like, hey, I rely on you. I need to be someone I'm not for you to like me.
Yeah. I'm
just like, nah, fuck it. And I literally just move on, and that's what many people can't get, because so many people want to be accepted.
Yeah.
Like, so many people want to be accepted by others, and I'm like, fuck them. No one understands it properly. Well, it's not, it's fucking raining, love.
It's not even that cold, it's just raining.
It's kind of like my family, like my ancestors, were casted out, and I don't quite understand why. Because I went through like my family tree, it's really off-putting, but I went through my family tree, and I was just like, well, oh, are you sorting it out, are you? Yeah, I'm sorting it out. Maybe just turn it down a tad. Just use the volume control, sir. Come on, it's technology. You can get used to it. Ah. No, now I can't hear it. But like, my ancestors were casted out simply because, like, I'm not sure how far it goes back, but they went back very far in terms of like how it progressed, dare I say, to where my grandmother and my granddad were. But it went back further enough to then look at how history had changed. And this is what I said to you, like it was, what do they call it, a deviant burial. And I'm just like, holy shit, like a deviant burial, what the fuck is that? And I kind of knew some of it because of my grandmother, but it was more like, some of my ancestors were then buried outside of a church with stones in their mouths. And I'm just like, that's pretty fucking cool actually. Why were they buried outside with like, outside the church with stones in their mouths? Like, what the fuck did they do? Like, I'd go for that type of burial. As long as it's got a headstone, I wouldn't mind. But, you know, allegedly, like, you know, my ancestors carried some type of, I wouldn't necessarily say a bloodline, but it was a bloodline in Ireland where superstition was about,
Yeah.
and allegedly they were like some form of vampire.
Oh.
So I'm just like, this is interesting. I'll be a vampire. Tell me more. Come and bite me. Hurry up. But no, they were. I think it was like two guys. One, I don't know the names because I ain't got the tree with me. Otherwise, then I'll be able to tell you the names. But I remember one was like 40 years old, and he was buried outside of a church with a stone in his mouth. And I was like, that's pretty cool, actually. But he was buried outside of a church either for their souls not to be released or to keep their souls in.
Yeah.
And no one really knows why, because they dug up these bodies and eventually moved them. But I was just like, holy shit. Like, how bad was this person to be dug out, like, buried outside of a church?
Yeah.
Like, how bad of a person do you need to be?
Very true.
So I'm just like, wow, they either kept, like, dare I say, like, my family's soul in the body, because they believed it would escape.
Yeah.
Or they did it to stop any type of resurrection happening because they just had enough of him to the twat. Who knows?
Yeah.
But to me, I find that so fascinating. Like, that goes back to, like, Ireland, I guess, folklore, and I guess where, like, my family have come from. But I'm just like, wow. Imagine if your family were, like, buried outside of the church. You'd be like, what the fuck did they do?
Oh, great. No, as I've said in previous podcasts, like, it's my some of my family have gone down the route of like witchy kind of stuff, like with crystals and healing powers and like.
It's like that thing that we looked at, wasn't it? People with green eyes are known to be like supernatural entities, and I'm like, wow, green eyes make you like some type of like superficial human being in this sense. Because I have green eyes, you have green eyes, and it might be hypnotising. Might be. But apparently,
all I know is if I turn when.
What was it said about people with green eyes? I found that really fucking fascinating. I think I screenshotted it.
Melanoma.
Melanina?
Melanina or something.
I have no idea, mate.
Within the eye.
You carry on talking about your ancestors. I'll find what I need to find.
But no, like they've gone down the route of the witches aspect of it, like
I guess
witches
like,
and warlocks and stuff. But
it's fascinating.
it is fascinating. It is fascinating to
like when
to
you
think,
love
like,
to go around your family's house and see them like bubbling up a cauldron and just be like, oh, have some soup, dear, it'll do you good. And you're like, no.
Some of the soup my family has tasted a bit like a witch's brew, but
I'm getting crampy in my leg. So it is like only about 2% of the world's population has green eyes. Green eyes are a genetic mutation that produces low levels of melanin. I think that's how you say it.
melanin.
Melanin.
Yeah.
Melanin. But more than blue eyes, as in blue eyes there's no colour. But this was it. Green eyes is associated with passion, good and bad. It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Like a bit of an evil streak.
Apparently.
Yeah.
People with this colour eyes are thought to be deviant, wild and curious. I was about to say, you're looking at me a bit weird.
I'm just curious why you're looking at me deviantly.
Because I'm a bit wild. But no, like green eyes have been the centre of superstitial beliefs worldwide related to witches, magic, vampires and evil spirits. So I'm fucked.
Man, so am I.
I'm fucked.
I wish I was burned. I always wanted
We are
too what I can eat.
You can turn yourself into a bit of a barbecue, couldn't you, really? But it's like, okay, so you could have like green eyes, but like, yeah, again, that's categorised someone.
It's categorised.
It's like,
It's categorised the certain percentage of the population.
Only a 2%. Only a 2%. But like, going back on your...
We're growing every day.
But going back on your like mythology and stuff, and like knights and everything else, it's interesting, like I said, how history has progressed and what we're left with, because mainly all England, dare I say, is left with is ruins. Ruins of like a different culture of what we don't yet still understand. It's just reading in fucking textbooks again. I'm telling you, don't read textbooks. They teach you fuck all. Watch a documentary like he does every fucking week.
I haven't watched any so far. This week.
This week. But like I guess like one place to me, well not one place, but one person was Robin Hood.
Mm.
He stands out to me a lot because like a lot of people like obviously like they made the film, then they turned him into a fox in the Disney, and then like they progressed with like a series and everything else. It originates somewhere, and many people didn't believe Robin Hood was real. I remember telling Jordan, "Well, we're going to go to Robin Hood's grave," and he was like, "The fox." I was like, "No, you twat." I was like, "Why would you go to a fox's grave?" And I'm like, "Don't you know Robin Hood?" And he was like, "Yeah, he was a fox." I'm like, "Mate, you watch too much fucking Disney shit."
He does like his Disney.
He does.
He does like his Disney.
But I was just like, no, actually Robin Hood's grave. And like, I think it was me, Joe, Craig and Jordan, and we all travelled fucking to Yorkshire to look for this fucking grave, and we were just like, what the fuck are we looking for? Like, what are we actually hunting for? But I was just like, we're hunting for something.
Yeah, try and talk about.
I can't, this music's really off-putting. I hate Christmas music. But anyway, we finally got to like Robin Hood's grave.
Yeah.
And like all of them looked at me like I was fucking weird. And like we like trespassed on this private estate. People had broken the iron and like everything else around the grave. Because many years ago people thought if you broke the iron and rubbed it on your jaw, if you had toothache it would cure you.
Yeah.
So like some of the irons broke, some rubbles are there, but the actual grave site is intact. And then like they dug it up and they still couldn't find the body, and I'm like, but that's what attracted my curiosity. I was just like, wait, so there's a grave, is there? I was like, right, we're planning a trip. I think we went to Newcastle and then we swung into like Derbyshire, then everywhere else around that area coming out of Newcastle. I think that's when we went. But like even reading it, it was like 1337 or something like that, and it's all written in Old English. And we all like took pictures and we were like, actually this is pretty cool to be honest. Like even though it looks like a folly / tomb, some of the bars had been broken, but I stepped into it, and even stepping into it was kind of like a bit of a like, ooh, this is a cool place. And I was just like, wow, okay. But like loads of people said Robin Hood wasn't real, and if he was, he never existed, and he wasn't the Robin Hood we now know today. But even just reading his tombstone in like I said, Old English, it took me ages to try and decode it, because when I got back I had to type in each and every letter to see what it meant, and I was just like, holy shit, like this is really interesting. So obviously that went in my book. I was like, nah, fuck it, that's going in my book.
Yeah.
Like if anything, like Robin Hood is like the English, you know, the English gent.
He's a proper English gentleman.
I
believe in all that.
What else did I write down about fucking Robin Hood? I swear I had something else. Other than, oh yeah, that was it, his death. Like, his death was like a mystery. So allegedly, like, he was poisoned.
He shot himself in the foot.
Poor chap. No, allegedly.
He wasn't having a very good day.
He was having off season, he couldn't quite get the... He
ricocheted.
He bounced. He hit a sheep. No, that was fortune telling, that was foretelling. That was me, I am Robin Hood. But no, it was more like, oh okay, so like I looked up how he might have died, and I came up with like 3 different reasons of how he could have died, but the one that dare I say that like stems from the actual core of the apple, right, is like he was poisoned by his auntie. And to me I'm just like, you what? So allegedly he went back to like the village, he was poisoned, and Big John did exist, because you can visit Big John's grave in Yorkshire somewhere, but
isn't it Little John?
I just remember he was quite tall.
He was
they
very
called
tall, they called
him Little John or whatever. Maid Marian never existed, so she was
Maybe
like...
that was like what was Bigfoot, like legend about.
Oh, he's a little foot.
He's a little foot.
he's a little elf. But
Why you bring it back to Christmas?
He's a little pixie.
He's a pixie.
He's a little fairy. But it was more like... So, apparently, like, Little John now, I still think Big John, because he's quite tall, quite a big chap. He actually existed. Yeah, and like I said, you can view his grave, and his grave does exist, but then there is a body in there. But Robin Hood's body was never found. I was like, holy shit. But the other part of the story was that Little John carried him up to a window, and he said, wherever I shoot my arrow is where I'm going to rest. He went, that's where I want to be buried. He shot his arrow, and that's exactly where it is. Like, that is on a private estate. Like, you literally have to walk up a massive hill, walk across the woods for a bit, and it's just there. But it's among so many acres of private land that we literally snuck in.
As much as you could.
Yeah, we snuck up the hill and we were like, fucking shit. And everyone's moaning at me like, where the fuck is it? And I'm like, somewhere up here.
Follow the arrow.
There was no arrow. But apparently that's, you know, he shot his arrow and that's where he wanted to be buried. And that's where the actual burial ground of Robin Hood is. And I was like, wow. So maybe that kind of makes a bit more sense. That he was poisoned and Little John carried him to a window because he wanted to see the world, and he said, wherever I shoot my arrow, that's where I want to be buried. And that's where he shot it. And that's where he is, on this private estate. And if you ever wanted to go, I can give you directions. That's pretty cool though, isn't it? Robin Hood's grave, come on, admit it, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I guess between that and some other little places that I went to, like, I think Robin Hood always stays up there for some reason. I'm not sure why.
It's a fascination. It is that intrigueness. It's that. Okay, so he did exist. Okay, what was he like?
Yeah, apparently,
what did he
do? During my discovery of finding out information, like other than where I knew years ago where he was buried. So obviously, I think me and Jordan and everyone else went there in like 2018. But I knew of this place, but it was only if we're passing can we swing in?
Yeah.
Because it was so far. Oh, you getting tired, are you? Worked hard this week, have you? Trying to dish out content every day, are we? But it simply was. It was like, okay, let's swing by, see if it actually is there, see if it does exist. And at the time, I think I only saw like a couple of pictures of it, and that was like stock photos.
Yeah.
I think it was mainly the people that lived on the estate that took the pictures of Robin Hood's grave. So I was just like, fuck yes, going. And it was like I said, like you compare it to, I can't really compare it to like houses and asylums that I've been to, but it is up there. It's like, oh, that is a bit of a treasure. Yeah. Because it's on private land, so it's actually owned by someone. They keep going out, don't they? They don't really keep it. Are they quite nice, aren't they? Are they like a cigar with a filter?
They are, yeah. They just keep going out.
Is this what you've moved on to?
Only for normally I have a cigar at Christmas, but that's normally a Christmas day.
Only for the Christmas period you moved on to those until you get to Christmas Day. Then you have a big little cigar, because there's no way you're going to smoke one of these. You'll have a little one and be like, yeah, this is quite nice.
I normally just buy the pack of 10, and then we have a cigar over Christmas.
But I think like another place I went to, which I guess has like
smoking jacket.
I might change. But another place I went to was Clop Hill, and that's known for its satanic rituals and dig ups and burial grounds. I think it happened in like 1961 to be precise. And they literally it was like a black mass gathering. Like people in cloaks, burning torches, went up there, did a satanic ritual, dug up like families' loved ones, scattered their bones everywhere, and fucking just did this satanic ritual. Like it was known for demonic possession as well. Yeah. And I was just like, it was one of the places when I very first started going to abandoned place. I was like, that ticks my box. Like no one really saw what I was seeing, but I was like, nah, I'm drawn to it. I'm drawn to that darker part of history, I'd say. So it's the same as Cold Christmas as well. Like I went there and I was just like, nah, it's got dark history too. I want to go to this one. But out of both of them, Clop Hill was the one that sparked my interest. I mean, me and this other chap, Steve, we travelled to Clop Hill one night and we saw these people walking up towards the church ruins and they were wearing hoods, mate, like proper full black gowns, and we were like, we're leaving. I'm not going to be part of a black ritual or some shit. I was like, let alone that, they'll probably try and cut me up and they'll fucking live. Like they try and cut into me and I'm made of rubber or something, they wouldn't even get through. But between both of them, I think Cold Christmas is a bit more darker than Clop Hill, but Clop Hill has its dark history, it has its paranormal.
Has its dark appeal.
Yeah, and like I said, 1960s, that's pretty relevant to today, in terms of what it had. And it had black mass gatherings, satanic rituals, chickens and ducks getting cut up, all the bones scattered. It's like, what the fuck is England on to do this?
Oh yeah, like talking about that kind of stuff. Like the first thing that comes to mind basically is like the Headless Horseman.
Yeah. Maybe that's the Black Knight.
You never know.
Chop off my head, but I roam the woods on my horse for the next centuries. Go on, do it, lad. Chop me head off.
You can disembowel me, but I will still go. We'll get a trusty steed to show my dominance. But
that
but
originated from somewhere.
That one. So the Headless Horseman was basically.
Dare we say England has the best folklore in terms of knights and shining armour and dark mass appeal.
Oh yes.
Like the only thing I'm really jealous of is the fact that like I love more or less cults. I love how someone can have so much power to like say, oh, this is the right thing to do, and people follow suit.
Yeah.
It's like the guy's a maverick. He could be charismatic and everything, and he just seems to manipulate everyone around him.
He knows how to work the system.
Yeah, he knows how to work the mind, and whether he knows mentally how to, or he just does it because of his charisma and personality is a different
or
matter.
he feels that he can do it. Blah blah blah.
Like that, in other countries, that fascinates me. Charles Manson fucking fascinates the shit out of me. No matter what, I want to go to the States and do like the Charles Manson thing. Like, you know, they had that picture where they're like all sat on a rock.
Yeah.
Or sat under the rock. I want to go there. I want to see this shit because the darker side of history is so appealing. And for someone to have that mind control over everyone, mate, that makes him powerful. And dare I say, do the Charles Manson shit years later, not ahead, but do it years later, he would have been like a fucking king. He would have been so clever. And that fascinates me. But go back to your sleepy horseman. I'll go back to me cults.
But no, the thing is, I don't know too much about the Headless Horseman. There's loads of different.
There is a lot of stories.
Arguments and.
When you mention the Headless Horseman, I think Sleepy Hollow, and I love that film as well. I'm like, yeah,
that's the thing that like sticks in mind.
There is a Headless Horseman in Pluckley, and there is the Highwayman in Pluckley. So we do need to spend maybe 2 or 3 days in Pluckley, and we'll like go around recording it at night time and during the day.
Yeah.
Just to pick up the ambience, like, because apparently the town is proper like, you shouldn't be round here like that. Like, apparently they're proper like, ooh. And with so much of like a ghostly haunting to it.
Yeah.
The most haunted village in Kent, like the most haunted village in England. Like, fucking go. We can still go, it's in our tier.
It is indeed.
It is in our tier.
It is indeed.
That is.
But making the excuse. I'm here to see a loved one. Who are? Oh god.
Who are? What brings you round here? I'm here to see the Headless Horseman and the Highwayman, and I want to spend the night in Screaming Woods. Is that allowed?
He's my family.
He's a deceased member of our family, and this chap here, well, he belongs to vampires. Can we come and ghost hunt? But we will do that.
No, we will do that.
It will have to be something that I'm like, I'm driven to that one. And we'll spend the night, like, if our viewers are watching and, like, they live locally or, dare I say, live in England, like, look up Bluebell Hill in Kent. That's another weird place. So that has some weird places. But I also want to venture...
That's rather close to us as well.
Yeah. I also want to venture to, like, an actual crop circle. Like, I've got a drone. I can send it up and stuff. I mean, it'll pick up what it needs to.
Yeah.
But I want to go to a crop circle and just view it from above while we're walking around it. I think that would be really cool. Just to see the crops bent in a certain manner, like... It takes skill.
Oh, yeah.
It takes skill. If you're faking something like that, mate, you got to do it in about an hour. It takes skill. And to do it at night time without the farmer knowing... Like, many nights, mate, I'd be in a farm field. And the farmer's light would shine on and he'd send his dogs out and I'd be running for ages. I'd be like, oh, fuck the farmer. We'd have to go.
We'll definitely be doing, as we've discussed and agreed anyway, we want to go out.
We want to go out when we can and do some, a bit more, I don't know, we'll chop it up into like a proper documentary style thing.
Yeah.
I think that would be the better option. Like you said, you could be in one part of the woods and I could be in the other part of Screaming Woods, and we can record
record what we can hear. And...
Yeah, I mean we'll have to get some walkie-talkies because I'll get scared of the dark. I'll bring me teddy bear. Bring me Christmas out with me teddy bear.
When someone comes out of a goat's hat, that's it, mate. I'm back at the car.
He comes out wearing a goat mask. I'm bringing him on the podcast. He could be our mascot.
You're hired.
It would be pretty cool though, wouldn't it? Good little goat mascot. He's only about 3 foot. Bless him. We pick him up and put him on our lap. Got anything to say? All right. Settle down. Would you like a cricket? I don't know what you eat. You weird people. You're lucky I don't burn you at the stake.
What?
But no, it would be really interesting to do like a documentary somewhere for you guys and just, you know, go a bit more, not out of my comfort zone, but he could come out of his comfort zone a bit more.
A little bit, yeah.
And you could venture and see a bit more of England than what you see.
Out my bedroom window. No, I don't.
I've never known a person that travels from A to B so much in all my life that they don't venture to C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K and the rest.
Not if I don't have to.
It's kind of one of them things where I feel like I've got so much many more mileage than you. I feel like a fucking run-down car, and you're a sports car that only comes out on Sundays.
I can't do Sunday.
No, but that's what it feels like. It feels like I've done all like this type of shit, but to document it in a fashion and put it onto here for everyone else, it'd be a bit more. I think people would be like, "Oh wow, okay." Rather than like, shall I say, seeing my photos, they can see what I'm like with a bit of video as well.
Yeah.
So then it's like, oh, okay, and then we've got your history backlog. You could be the historian of it all. You could be like, well, there was a ghost in the graveyard, and I'll be like, I'll look for the ghost.
So you're going to the grave?
I don't mind
That
going.
means I've got the church. Awesome.
I'm not allowed in churches.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
I've been banned.
I don't know, but my skin itches every time I'm in one. Could be the water though.
There was this mirror. Just reminded me, there was this mirror, and I'm trying to think where the church was. Apparently, like, the mirror's directly in the front of the church, so as soon as you open the doors, you walk in, and there's this mirror, right? And superstition has it, anyone's reflection that weren't seen in the mirror weren't allowed in the church. And, like, whether it was a prank or not, I don't know. But everyone walked into church, and I walked in, and I got stopped, and they went, "Can you look in the mirror for me?" And I went, "Yeah." And I looked in the mirror, like, what the fuck is it? I couldn't see myself. I was like, fuck this! I freaked me fucking self out. I was like, oh, well, I didn't thinking I was going to turn into a bat at night time. But I was like, what the fuck? Like, how superstitious do you need to be? Like, what about if that mirror just didn't pick up on me? What about if I was a bit more transparent that way?
Just the sun was hitting my
Yeah, exactly. What about if I didn't hit?
angle?
But I was just like, I'm not a vampire! In my head, I'm like, I can view myself in mirrors. Why was it that mirror I couldn't view myself in? And I was like, fuck this shit. But then other people got sent home because their reflection weren't seen in the mirror. I think
it's just a dodgy mirror.
I think it was.
It's a one-way mirror.
I think it's to do with the church, to be honest. They're a little bit iffy. Very dodgy, that church. They're very picky about what people come in and what people don't. But no, I just thought.
Did you have your gear on?
My gear on, I had me leather on. They looked at me a bit.
He's not coming in here. Bloody biker.
Had me leather on. Had me strap on. Said, "Holy Christ, fuck Jesus," and I was sent out. And I was like, what's the fucking point? I come to church to swear, not to sit there and be quiet.
I've come to release my sins.
Walk
I don't like that either.
Walk into the booth and be like, "Heavenly Father, for I have sinned." How long are you here for first?
Is there anyone waiting?
Open the door. Nope. Back in. Right, so where do I begin? I was 6, so I shot this fucking sheep, right? And already I've swore. But the farmer's a cunt, and I didn't mean to hit the sheep, but it makes it look like I did.
He come round, grabbed me testicles, and I can't really walk perfectly fine.
So in the end, I killed him.
Shot him with the arrow stick.
There's the second sin.
The sheep's fine though.
The sheep lived until the Black Panther got him, allegedly.
But and the Pink Panther, and he's dead.
I ain't never seen the Pink Panther. Do you know why? It's the whole film.
You're like, nah.
It's the film of it. It's, dare I say, the Inspector. I can't watch the Pink Panther. I could just about handle Christmas songs, let alone watch a fucking shitty Pink Panther. You don't even really see the Pink Panther in it, do you? If you do, I've missed out. Do you see the Pink Panther?
He's in the film mostly, yeah.
What, the actual Pink Panther?
Well, not a Pink Panther.
I ain't watching
the
it.
cartoon Pink Panther, yeah.
Is he in it for the whole lot? Because
Mostly.
I watched Roger Rabbit and I was a bit depressed.
You didn't see Roger Rabbit?
Yeah. I didn't see him a lot.
And then when you did, he fucking faked his death.
Roger Rabbit upset me a bit because I thought he was going to be the main character. Instead, you're just watching this investigator go around into cartoon world. That threw me off. Weren't interested. Fell asleep. It's pretty much what happens. Like usually, I'll put a film on. I'm like, I want to watch this. It seems oh no, fuck it. By the end of it, mate, I'm comfortable and I'm just snoring my head off like, fucking shit. What a shit film. Whenever anyone asks me, have you seen that film? I'm like, bits. Bits. I watched bits. You like Nightmare Before Christmas? I seen a little bit. Most of the time I fall asleep. Can I borrow your lighter? Oh, yeah, I'll borrow your lighter. I think I'm running out of gas. Fucking hell, I remember when I was at work and we sold them. Fucking hell. We changed the sold them. Stole them. Stole it from work. I think I had a red one. I think it was a red one. So we move on to our last mythical thing, I guess. Good old Saint Nick.
Oh yes.
Good old Father Shitmus. The one that never brought me a bike when I was 10.
Merry Christmas.
He didn't bring me a bike when I was 10. I was fucked. I was pissed.
I waited up for him for 3 days. He's gonna break his legs. Little penknife. Like, you wait till you come down.
I'll tell you what, right? Like, before we move on to Saint Nick, like, what is the weirdest Christmas? Like, not necessarily the gift that you received, but dare I say, like, not necessarily a miracle, but something that you couldn't quite explain. Like Christmas-wise, I've got like fucking 2 of them, and they freak me the fuck out. And I still think Santa Claus is real somewhere.
Not really. I don't really believe in the whole thing. I've never really believed in it anyway. Purely for the fact, like...
Every kid that's watched our Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels now, we're listening to go, Santa's not real!
I'm definitely changing the thing to no kids. Well, no, like, for myself, like, I don't believe in it, but...
Okay,
I'm not going to tell you why, because it ruins the whole idea of Christmas.
Okay,
but,
so my 2...
Many parents will understand.
So my 2 things were... It's going to sound really odd to you. Really, really odd, right?
You asked for a skateboard and you got a pencil case.
No. Like...
And you saw a boot up the chimney. No, that's your dad cleaning out the thing.
So obviously, like, my father was obsessed with Christmas. You ask him today, do you believe in Santa Claus? He's like, yep. I'm like, fuck off. Right? But in my head, I'm like, why? Like, it's always that weird thing. Like, he is adamant that Father Christmas is real. Like, he ain't got no mental problems or anything, I don't think. But, you know, I come from the same gene pool.
It's just Christmassy.
But I always asked him, I was like, even though Santa isn't real, do you believe in him? And he went, yeah, he was a regular guy. I'm like, regular guy? I was like, that sounds a bit creepy, doesn't it? Regular guy. Ding dong.
Are your kids asleep yet? Can I go and visit their room, please? I want to put some presents in it. No, thank you.
I want to empty me sack. I want to empty me sack in your child's bed. Please, please, can I? PG rated, no, definitely. I'll give him a fucking white Christmas. You want snow? Have some icing.
His chestnuts were roasting on an open fire trying to get up the fucking chimney.
This has now just turned into a bit higher scale of sick. I thought you were going to grab a cricket. You literally were like that. I was like, you were tempted, didn't you? Just to give him a little succulent suck. Go on, son. Go on, have a little suck. No, but like, going back to the story, right? So I knew my presents. I knew my parents were putting presents under the tree.
Yeah.
Right. They both went to bed. Right. So I don't know as a child, but you know your parents' footsteps. Right, walking up the stairs. I don't know if like any other person knew this growing up, that you know your grandmother or your mother has a certain way of walking up the stairs. My father used to skip the creaky step and then put his hand on the rail, and then he'd go into the bathroom, blow his nose, be in there for about 20 minutes and go to bed. Right? So I heard them both go to sleep. Literally go to bed. And I was just, did me dangler hit it? Right? But
No.
no?
I don't know why.
You didn't see me dangler. It's the invisible poker stick.
That's whoever you're talking about. Like,
Shut up, stop talking! But they were both asleep and I could hear my father snoring in his bedroom. Right? My grandmother would go to bed at 10 and my father would be the one to put the presents under the tree, then go to bed, right? So I was just like, oh, okay. And I was like sat there awake, and like as a child you're really excited, aren't you? You're like, oh, I ain't fucking sleeping. Like somehow in your mind you're like, I'm staying awake.
yeah, I'm staying up.
Right. I stayed awake, and weirdly enough, like I heard something hit the roof, and then I heard bells, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And the first thing I did was come out of my bedroom, and I opened my father's door, and he was asleep. And I went into my nan's room, and I woke her up. I was like, listen to this. And she was like, what are you doing awake? I was like, no, listen. What are you waking me up for? Come on, love, and listen. So she came into my bedroom. I opened the bedroom window, and you could hear bells. And I was like, where the fuck is that coming from? Mate, it was like night time. Who the fuck has bells ringing at night time? But to me, like whether it was a drunk person going doom 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 doom, yeah. But still, today I'm like,
this will freak all the little shits out.
but today, like that stays in my mind. I'm like, well, that was really weird. Like in my head, as a child, I wasn't thinking I want to be venturing off at like 3 o'clock in the morning, but you just don't know. And to me, I'm like, that's quite weird. That I think that was Santa. And then the other one was
he hit your roof, went down the other side, crash landed.
He rang his emergency bell.
The reindeers are like fucking scattered.
The reindeers went everywhere. But the other weird thing is, the other weird thing, like, I'm not sure whether it is nowadays, but years ago they didn't do posts on Christmas Day.
No.
Right, and whether my grandmother or my father like told a neighbour to post something through the letterbox, I don't know. But a letter from Santa came on Christmas Day, and we were all in the living room, and it just popped through. And I was like, as a child, I was like, that's pretty clever. That if you faked it, I'm impressed. Like, I was like, that's pretty good.
Fair play.
Yeah, I was like, fair play. You're both in the same room, wasn't you? Santa. As soon as anything like didn't involve them, Santa. I don't have neighbours. It was like, nope, Santa dropped it off. Santa's my friend. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy.
I've got the certificate.
No, but it was a letter, and weirdly enough, the handwriting didn't match my grandmother's or my father's. Like my father's handwriting was like quite sloppy and sideways. My grandmother's writing was proper loop-de-loop like type of thing. So I knew what their handwriting was. Whether they actually fucking wrote a long letter having not to use your own handwriting, I don't know. Whether they got the neighbour to post it through, I was just like, oh, that's some clever shit, that. Like, especially when you're little, you're like, yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, like, you fuckers. Still trying to convince me he's real, aren't you? Now I am, 32 years of age. I'm like, Will, seriously, when I was younger, I heard bells and I had a letter. He exists. It's Santa!
You just fell out of bed, mate. On the floor.
Hit the bells. Like I said, 32 years of age, I'm preaching to you. I had two weird things
and now
happen.
you're just pissed.
Yeah, now I'm pissed because Santa didn't give me a bike one year, and I was like, you fucker.
No, that's it. Don't believe me, no.
I had every single Power Ranger as a kid, but no fucking bike. And I was like, what's going on? I've been good. I even folded the catalogue page over and I said, bike! What did I get? Nothing.
You got the Power Ranger on the other side.
It was, yeah. Oh, I don't know what he wants. We'll get him one of each. We won't
Whichever way this page falls. That is.
They could have just made a fucking prediction with toast and bread, flipped it up and but aside down, he gets nothing.
Now when did I put me like,
fuckers. Yeah, I don't know, them two things stay in my head. I'm like, they're quite weird. Whether like Santa only does visit children, I don't know.
I don't know. I fell out with Santa at a very young age. I told him, no fruit. What did he put in the running fucking stocking? Fruit.
I bet you had a really nice red stocking, didn't you?
No, I had a pillowcase.
You had a pillowcase. I had my grandmother's tie. I had that filled up with tangerines and fucking bananas. Do I look like that type of person that sits there and eats fruit on Christmas? Fuck off, I don't even eat it during the week. Why would I fucking pick out on... Why would I feast out on fruit? I even had figs. I didn't even know what a fig was. I asked my grandma, what's that? That's a fig. Try one. Nah. She was like, I'll eat them. Yeah, I bet you fucking would. You put things in there for fucking you, not me. You little shit. Have some dates. I ain't having them. You poke them with a stick and eat them. Oh, fuck that. I just had a fig. Honestly, yeah, stocking filled up with fruit. What kind of fucking Christmas is that? What parent does that? My grandmother.
I'm gonna let mine suffer, bastards.
My grandmother used to be like, I'll put your stocking on your bed when you're asleep. I'll be like, yeah, right. Sat there all night waiting for her to come upstairs.
She's forgotten.
Yeah, exactly. I sat there one night, I was like, she ain't even done it. What'd she do? She woke me up and went, there you go. I was like, defeats the object, doesn't it? Defeats the fucking object.
You know, if you had put that down and left the room, I would have believed that.
No, I remember one year I woke up because I felt something touch my foot, and like I saw my bedroom door just closed, and I was like, damn. and I looked at it, I was like, do I open this now, or do I wait?
Oh, see, now that is the choice.
Do you open presents before or after? Like, do you open the present on Christmas Eve?
We used to.
Yeah.
We used to. When I was younger, we used to have you'd have one like little stocking filler kind of thing present.
I wasn't allowed fucking shit.
So, but then that stopped because you know things were expensive.
I barely got a fucking advent calendar.
I didn't always have one.
I ain't got one this
Or
year.
if I did, like I haven't got one this year.
I wish I did have one this year, but now I thought, well, this year's fucked anyway. So
What's the point? Don't need
what's
any
the
of
point?
that
You can't
chocolate.
Don't need any of that pound chocolate. I think the only calendar I actually come across like in the supermarkets was actually like a Haribo one. I was like, I fucking hate gummy sweets. I was like, I ain't having it. Like, Christmas is ruined. It is. It's ruined. It is. But yeah, like that night that my grandmother put that stocking on the bed, like I was like, I'm gonna fucking open them presents when she turns her bedroom light off. I literally burst out. I was like, no. And then when I opened it, it was fruit. Fucking fruit, stingy bitch. Give me more.
No wonder they call them stocking fillers.
Yeah, what, mate? I literally like. Did they wrap the fruit up for you?
No.
They fucking did for me. That's like 2 shits.
That's like,
Yeah, it's 2 hypes. It's like stocking, and I'll empty it out. And be like, oh wow, what's it's a fucking orange. What's this? It's a fucking banana. Literally, I'll look at it and be like, that's why you went shopping yesterday to get fresh fruit. Well, open your big present.
fucking have it.
Well, open your big present. Nah.
That might be the shopping trolley.
Might be them broken biscuits you fucking eat in a box. I ain't opening that. I remember one year I came running downstairs, right? And I was just like, and no one was awake, and I thought, fuck it, fuck the rules. And I went straight in. The only present I had was a go-kart. I opened it up and I was sick everywhere with excitement. I literally ripped it open and I was like, it's a go! All day I was being sick. That was the only Christmas I actually remember that was fairly decent. The rest just turned to fucking shit. It's like, oh, we can't afford everything, we wrapped it up in like newspapers. Well, no, that's a fucking orange. Been having that for fucking years. It's not actually. What do you mean it's not? What is it in?
It's an apple.
Yeah. It's like, hang on, who the fuck's dead? Oh look, it's an apple. Fuck it, it's a tangerine actually. Fuck off.
Stupid orange.
Like, I think my father actually wrapped up grapes individually. One year.
Just to mug you right up.
Fucking dick. Fucking dick. Like, I didn't have a lot of presents, but the presents I did have was just like one main one and then like maybe one little one. Why is that flashing up there? What's it saying?
Video pause, continue watching. Just because it's been up there for...
Yeah, we'll press OK. We'll press OK. Hope you guys are having fun.
That got depressing really quickly.
Think about the Christmases past.
Feels like Boxing Day already. We're all sitting down going, so I want to sit in your life.
COVID.
Where?
We're spreading it. It's a mutated disease. It's a mutated virus, not a disease. Although it can give you a disease. But back to our folklore. Saint Nick. Where he originated from, the original Father Christmas. What was he, who was he, and where the fuck did he come from? What do you know about him?
I know the, Father Christmas, or Saint Nick, was originally dressed in green.
Santa. I sat on his knee so many times.
That wasn't Santa. Did he give you chestnuts?
I think I need to go make a police. I need to go make a police statement. He's probably dead now. Damn pedo.
There goes that lawsuit.
I wondered why I walked funny when I got off his lap.
He's roasting your chestnuts.
He was checking my temperature apparently. I'm fucking doing it now.
Cough.
I better not, mate. I'll be locked up for 2 weeks. I ain't coughing anywhere. Oh, I've lost my whistles. Alright, smart ass.
Well, it's not. It's just because I swore them. It's
Okay.
just because I swore them and see how that be all pissed.
So, Saint Nick wore green, then later changed to red as it was seen more festive. But you can still kind of find like Father Christmas toys green. It's coming back.
Yeah.
Bringing back a bit more of a tradition of a green suit rather than a red suit. I wouldn't trust a man in a red suit. This is why, like, if like someone said to me Santa Claus is coming tonight, I'd get a ball in the house. I'd be like, yeah, let's see him get in the living room. This ball would charge it.
Wait, what colour did I paint the front? Oh no.
Whole living room shattered. Fuck you, you twat.
I'm not moving. It's too much red.
He'd be scared. The ball would be like, no, nothing's flapping. Wait, no. No. Maybe we need a ball. I'll just give it sugar cubes and all the fucking fruit. I'll get me stocking. Have an apple. You can unwrap it.
I'm still getting you fruit.
There was one year.
Come round with a fruit basket.
No, right. We're fucking Saint Nick now. This is fucked. Right, there was one year. Right, and I don't know where my father got this impression from. I never once showed an interest in dinosaurs. Right, but I opened up my grandmother's presents. Great, loved them. My father, 3 presents he brought me. Right, 3 plastic fucking dinosaurs. My nan even said to him in the kitchen, she was like, what are you getting dinosaurs for? And he was like, he likes them, doesn't he? Doesn't he? He likes them, doesn't he? You don't go on a dinner. You don't go like shopping and go, he'll like that, wouldn't he? You go, you don't have the, I think. You don't just get a kid plastic dinosaurs. 3 plastic fucking dinosaurs. About that big they were. You can tell I come from a poor family, couldn't you? They couldn't afford the whole fucking dinosaur family. I don't even get T-Rex. I didn't even get the one with the long neck, but they were like plastic about so big. Mate, I opened them up and was like, oh, a dinosaur. What's the next one? A dinosaur. Another dinosaur. That's all you're getting. I gathered. And I looked at him like, what the fuck is this? Like, amazed, I'm like, not ungrateful or anything, mate, but I was 14 years old and I got given plastic dinosaurs.
Wow.
What did you get when you were 14?
When I was 14?
Yeah.
Standard.
My
Fruit, clothing.
My uncle saved...
Like, enough aftershit, like, deodorant to fucking stink, like, sink a battleship.
My uncle often saved Christmas for me, though. He often saved it. Like, my grandmother would get what money she could and get me one main present and maybe a couple of little ones. My father would rarely get me anything. And then my uncle would turn up on like Boxing Day and be like, I have this. I'm like, yeah! And I knew it was really good. I was like, decent. Fuck Christmas Day. I'm in for Boxing Day.
That's so nice celebration.
It was simply like, yep, that'll do. And it turned up and I was just like, he turned up and he gave me his present, I unwrapped it, PlayStation. I was like, yeah, that's the type of present I wanted. And I looked over at my dinosaurs and I'm like, dinosaurs? I literally walked out the room going, fucking plastic dinosaurs. You don't get a 14-year-old boy dinosaurs. I'm getting you a dinosaur. So Saint Nick wore green.
Yeah. So it was wore green, and he would literally like walk around the streets, knock on the door, and ask the parents if the children have been good or bad.
That sounds dodgy though, doesn't it?
And if they've been
Can you imagine
good
him
or
knocking on
bad,
the door to a woman and like she opens the door and he's like, your daughter been bad? Very naughty, let me have a word.
Here's the coal, that'll keep you warm at night.
No, it would be like, let me have a word, how bad is your daughter? Well,
Does she need to go on the naughty list? I just made some room.
This is the type of shit we get looked up for. How old is she? 12. Oh, it's a bit too old for me.
I'll have to move me 4 o'clock, but
it's a bit too old for me. I'm only after 9s and 10s. Oh. So Saint Nick kind of has that pedo vibe about him, doesn't he?
Yeah. But he was, as you said, he was always a charitable person. Like he would go round. Like
I wonder what his fascination was with kids. Like what was his age limit? Like when you turn 16, fuck it, you're on your own, not buying you anything. And why didn't he care about the parents? Like what about if they really struggled in hardships? And like they did everything they could, they were the best parent they could be. He didn't give a shit, he just wanted to know if they were naughty or nice.
Well, that's the thing, right? When it was like, it was more of sort of places that didn't really have a lot.
Yeah.
And if the
Kent.
And it used to be the other way around. That if you were good, you'd get like lumps of coal and stuff like that to help the family. But if you were bad, they would literally punish the crap out of you. Like, as you said before, they would whip.
Can you imagine Santa turning up here asking me if I've been good or bad? And I'd look at him and be like, what the fuck do you think, you miserable cunt? And he'd be like, well, I'm old. I'd be like, yeah, I know, you should be dead. Were you on my roof? Do you post letters?
It's friction, it's me part-time job, innit?
Did you tell my father to give me 3 fucking dinosaurs?
Well, you was a little shit, that's it.
Fucking word. Everyone's bad. No one deserves shit. If you can't be bad, why be good?
Very true.
You may as well be a mix. You could be good to some people and just be a fucking arsehole to the rest. No, again, what's the point of being good all the time?
What does it get you?
Not fucking 3 fucking dinosaurs, probably.
It gets you all set.
I'm gonna try harder.
You're like, I must try harder.
I can ring up my dad and be like, I'm trying! I'm trying to be... Oh, I've done it again. I'm trying to be a good boy, I'm trying.
But no, there's, like, you know, there's not really a lot about St. Nicholas than there is about... If you think, like, there's more stuff on internet and on, like, books and studies and stuff.
I mean, there is some gruesome history which I found out, which I thought was fucking fascinating as hell. So Saint Nick went to this house. He saved 3 daughters. He gave their family gold, just so these 14-year-olds could go work with him. I had 3 girls, and he either married them, or he just made them into like not a slave but a servant. And to me, that's a bit iffy. It's literally like paying the mum and dad, be like, "There's some gold. I'm gonna go fuck your daughter." But that's that actually happened in some retrospect. He actually saved 3 girls from prostitution, and he married them, all 3 of them.
So would that be like more of, dare I say it, a Mormon myth kind of thing?
I don't know, but apparently he married them because these 3 girls were working the streets and he didn't want them to. So he saved them from
the devil, you know, really.
He saved them from fucking strangers so he could go home and fuck them. So I'm like, maybe you weren't all that good. You're a bit weird, aren't you? 3 women in the same house. Fucking hell. Can you imagine that?
I feel sorry for him already.
I know. 3 women he married. Holy shit. That's earache.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
What?
Sunday's got to go to church. And repent all
the sins he's done earlier. But no, I looked up that, he saved 3 girls from prostitution. Gave their family some gold, technically brought the daughters off of the family.
Yeah.
And then he also resurrected 3 children that were chopped up and pickled. So he could resurrect people too. Which is then also fascinating because he had like some weird superpower, which probably explains why he flies. But
that's what the sprouts mean.
yeah, fucking woo, flying up into the air. But he saved 3 children because they were chopped up by a butcher, pickled to be sold on Christmas Eve, and he resurrected them and got them out of that pickle that they were in. And he took them on, he took them on as helpers. And then the other thing I read was he had a helper, and he would go around and, give children presents, ask them if they'd been naughty or nice. Seems like he's quite a greedy man. He's already got 3 fucking girls at home. What does he want the whole fucking country for? He would then ask them, and then they'd say, "Oh, I've been really good." And they'd be like, "Oh, okay, have some presents or have a toy," right? But then later on I started reading that he had a helper that would then abuse, whip, and shout at the children if they were naughty. And I guess this is where the elves come into it in retrospect to this.
Yeah.
So this is the information I found out, and I was like, holy shit, St. Nick's got it in the bag. He knows his job. Literally, straight off the bat, he's literally declaring himself a pedophile and getting away with it. He knows how to work the system.
I am, but I'm doing it for a good cause.
And no one's going to say no to him because it's Christmas.
No wonder everyone's all red.
Go on, love, touch me snowballs, go on.
Ooh, cold hands, warm up next to the chestnuts.
But yeah, that's what I read about St. Nick. Other than that, he had some superstition power, he could do some weird shit, and he had a Grinch that could help him.
Yeah.
That would then make all the children be good. What was his...
That's another myth in its own
why...
itself.
What gets me is
the Gringor or something. Or the Gringor or something. I can't pronounce it properly.
Tell you what, Christmas has a lot of fucked up shit. And everyone just goes, "Oh, it's a Christian holiday, is it? Well, you don't believe in God this year, so why the fuck are you celebrating?"
And that's another myth and legend.
Theoretically, I should take my Christmas hat off.
Because a Christmas hat is not religious.
Having presents isn't religious.
Exactly. Why would you have greed amongst a Christian holiday? Why would you have gluttony under a Christian holiday? What? Because you saved yourself, oh yeah, you can go nuts. One day only.
That song, I wish it was Christmas every day. Santa was loving it back then. He must have had more than 3 wives.
No wonder he took holiday.
Yeah, the whole year. The whole fucking year. 3 wives in one night, and he's like, "No, I'm done, mate.
I'm going to Hawaii."
You only see him once a year, but the wives, they see him come every year. Every day and every year. Special deposits in the bed.
Lumps of coal. Don't ask.
It's when the wives are like, "He's just stocking Santa," and he's like, "Let me see the other one." They got some kinky shit
Didn't
going.
I wear them last?
They got some kinky shit going on at North Pole, mate. I wonder if elves existed.
Well, you've got the pixies in Cornwall.
reminds me of a video. There's a black and white video of children playing, right? It's on YouTube. There's a like black and white video of children playing, and the father goes over and goes, "What are you playing with?" And they're holding their hands up and doing this, and all these fairies are like everywhere flying around. I'm like, holy shit! Fairies exist! Come on, Tinkerbell, come on, say it like, come on. I believe in fairies. Not Santa. Fairies. Depends. If Santa brings me more than dinosaurs, I mean...
Yeah, if he brings me a fairy or a fucking pixie, then I believe in it.
Yeah. If he brings me dinosaurs, I'm sending a letter to my father.
How did you know?
Santa ain't real. He'd be like, yeah, he is. I'd be like, fuck you! Stop telling me he's real. No, my father's a firm believer in Santa Claus is real, honestly. And I think that's kind of weird. For an adult to believe in Father Christmas.
It's very rare. I've got to admit.
I think my father's just a child at heart. I think that's what it is. And
Or he just never woke up and you've known when it.
Yeah, all these years he's gone through going, Santa's real, Santa's real, Santa's real.
I wonder if he still got a stocking with fruit in it.
Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh, my father having stockings. Exactly. Why has he allowed such a delicacy? Why has he allowed such pleasure? What do
I'm opening fruit.
He shouldn't be allowed fruit at his age. He's diabetic. Too much amino acid. He ain't allowed them too many natural sugars. He'll fuck himself up. No, but honestly, Santa's a cunt. Like, anyone that, like, I don't know, the mythology behind Saint Nick and everything else is pretty fucked up, to be fair.
Oh yeah, like throughout history, you've got the good Saint Nicholas, but then
He's not good though, is he?
Then you've got the other side, which is, you know, the dark, as you said, the dark side of history.
There's a... Who the fuck is pickling children? I don't say Sweeney Todd, because now we've just time travelled. No, but seriously, like, you know, going through it all, it's like, oh, okay.
Maybe that's why they call it Piccalilli.
I'm glad I don't like pickles.
I'm glad I do.
Well, there's some pickles here, mate.
Yeah, and it's definitely coming to...
It's coming to crunch time.
Oh, don't say crunch time. It's coming to cricket.
Okay, so back to the Christmas critter part.
Yeah.
So as I said, we have the mealworms. I'm not looking forward to these ones. I'm not a big fan. We have buffalo worms,
Which are very tiny. They're like little grains of rice.
We also have crickets.
They're the ones that
Crickets. Then we have the locusts.
Brutus.
So, how do you want to do this? Do you want me to go first? Fuck answering questions and just go straight in?
Yeah.
It is Christmas.
It is Christmas, so
Okay,
what
so-
we'll do,
Yeah, go on.
just to make it a little bit more fun, we'll do rock, paper, scissors
Okay.
for the first one,
Okay.
and then we'll do one after
Okay. Right, so it's rock, paper, scissors, shoot, yeah?
Why is this shoot?
Because if you do 1, 2,
If you
3,
put shoot in, I'm putting down mine.
Right, so it's just rock, paper, and scissors.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just go rock,
Okay.
paper, scissors, and
Then shoot.
and then that on the...
Oh, we'll shoot. I'll say shoot and we'll shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. We can do this. Okay. COVID hands. Let's go. Right.
High five. Kidding.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay.
If this is third time lucky,
We
we
both
have
go. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay. So it's a buffalo one.
Just the tiny one.
Okay, tiny little ones. Tiny little ones.
Oh, they look like fucking...
Tiny little one. Oh,
don't drop it.
Where's the fucking tiny? Okay. Ready? 5.
Oh, God.
That's what I mean. Oh! They're really slimy.
It's like they're moving.
Oh my God. Let's find one that's big enough. Okay, right. Oh, okay. Right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
You don't...
That didn't have a taste at all.
That didn't... No, you
Didn't
can...
have a taste at all.
You can taste the breakfast cereal bit of it, though.
Yep, that one did.
That did taste like a very tiny Rice Krispie.
So then we've got Mealworm. Eat this.
Okay.
Do what purposes?
Okay.
That means you could go first. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Go for the Mealworm.
Oh,
Nice big long one.
Oh,
Mate,
that's
not
not
a
that
Mealworm. Don't just grab a Mealworm, it's looking silly. There's loads over this side. Oh. Show the camera. Go on.
It's very,
Oh,
very
mine ready.
brutified.
Oh, I don't want that one. Okay. Oh, yeah. Go. You go first and you tell me what it's like. Go on. Don't have a drink ready, just pop it in. You'll be alright. I think mine's still in the back of my throat. It tastes like soil. You feel like a bird. You can start cheating.
Oh.
Is it bad? Is it bad?
No, it's just the texture.
Okay.
It literally just tastes of... It's like putting a piece of dry cereal with no taste whatsoever in your mouth. It's just... It's just like... There's like one tiny crunchy bit and you're like...
Go on.
Go on.
Okay. Really? Really? You should do this without a drink.
I'm getting near the bottom.
Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
You know, with my run of very bad luck with these like 50-50 chances, I thought adding 3. Oh, why? The hell? Is that it?
Yeah, that's a cricket. Show the camera.
Oh.
Go on.
It's like a...
That you're gonna feel a bit of meat in.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm definitely having this ready for this one.
Go on, go straight in, chew. Go!
Oh.
That was a crunch!
Oh.
There was a crunch!
Oh.
Is it bad? Is it bad? Is it bad?
Oh. Oh, it just keeps crunching. I'm good, your turn, Dick. Oh.
Okay. Do you want to pick me one out? Okay, I'll go for this one. Oh, this is a bit of a big one, isn't it? Bigger than yours.
Oh, it's definitely. Oh. I'm getting the crunch. It's literally like putting a Rice Krispie in the mouth and just... I'm not looking forward to the big ones.
Oh. Is that his head?
Mm-hmm. It's so chewy, it's weird.
You ready?
Ah. It's just like little bits everywhere.
To make this interesting, the loser has 2. loser has 2.
What? So whoever gets to the big one first, then.
We're on the bigger one now.
Mm.
You have 2 of them.
Why 2?
Because this ain't bothering me at all.
Well, you fucking have 2 then.
No. It's your Christmas dinner.
Christmas Eve.
You ready? Oh. I won't eat that bit. Ooh. Yeah, it's very,
It's bitty.
yeah. I think these locusts are going to be better though. Come on, let's go. Right. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Yes!
Don't have to be so happy. But a humbug.
I'll do 2 locusts. But obviously, I've got my eye on one. I've been eyeing him up for this whole process. I think it's that one. I think it's the one with the curly tail. That's the chap. I love this guy. And I'll pick. I'm picking the locusts. Well, you've got to have this big black one.
Yeah, we do it.
No, that one. That's the chap. Oh, you can have the small one.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Oh, mate.
Oh, it was belly.
Oh,
Mate, I've got a wing on mine. Okay. There's my 2 locusts.
Oh, that feels so disgusting. There's the 2. I don't know if you can just do the dark side.
But don't get something what they like. What are you going for? You going for both at the same time?
I do both at the same time just to get it done and out of the way, or
I think you should do one just in case you're sick on the other one. You're leaving the big black one to last.
There's not much in it, mate. I'm not gonna die.
There ain't much in mine either, to be fair. Ting, ting. Take your time, express to the viewer what it tastes like. I'll tell you what, the cockroach was just bitty. Not the cockroach, the cricket.
The cricket.
It was just bitty. This one's got to be worse. This one's got to taste like gone off fish, I guarantee you. And because it's got the, I've got the wings as well. Oh, apparently they're the bits that taste like fish scales. Dried up fish scale.
Okay. I hate you.
That's a good plan, this. I'm good at planning videos. Think of all the children that actually eat these in different countries. They love them. Go on, say it. I ain't raised on fucking locusts. See that? Raised on turkey.
I don't even like that.
Right, go.
Right.
God!
You went. It was like.
You don't smell too
They don't.
Mind over matter.
I hate you.
You don't.
I'm gonna hit you.
Mind over matter, go on. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, have a good chomp. Or did you get the bit of meat in the head?
Mm.
Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
You got no. Wait. Get all the texture going through. Go on, you got the other one to eat off.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll do it now.
Oh, that was good. What's it taste like?
I'll tell you one first.
It tastes like fucking shit, you cunt. Go on, do it. Say it. Swallow a battery. See if you get. Oh, go on.
Okay, so.
Mind over matter, really.
yeah,
It's like the cricket. I can
was
imagine.
like eating a twiglet.
Okay.
And to be fair, with the amount of like the space of all the like that little bit of flavouring that's on there,
Yeah.
it does taste like a twiglet.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, good luck. Your
What
turn.
do you want, left or right?
Right. Go with the biggest one, you bastard.
Yeah, I'll just make it a bit more fun. Wait. Bang good.
Nope.
It's doable.
It's doable. It is doable. I wouldn't say it like, oh, it's disgusting, or there, but it still don't taste right, and I can still taste it. Ah.
It's the head bit I'm having trouble eating.
Oh, oh.
So that's the first one.
I'm still tasting wings.
Yeah. I think I can do number 2, you know.
You fucking well are. If you don't do number 2, you got chugged them.
What?
Oh. Oh, I can hear that one. Is that? Got wing stuck up.
Yeah. I ain't chewing that. So, oh! I think that one was pregnant.
Oh.
I'll say some gooey liquid. That was good.
Double header. It's so the first instant you put it in your mouth and you're like, you're like, because then it releases and you're like, your mouth feels that it's just. No, I don't know about you, but I've got a tingling feeling in my cheek.
All gone. Oh, bit of bug. Oh, that was a little. No, oh wait. Probably this eye socket. It wasn't that bad. Told you, mine don't even matter.
It weren't bad. Like the thought running through my head was twiggly, 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 twiggly. But that's what it tastes like to me.
Do you know what we should do?